Hello everyone, this is the second lecture on metallurgy, and in this lecture we will discuss the steps involving the extraction of metals. So as we have discussed in previous lecture that there are basically 4 steps in which the metal is extracted from the ore. Now in these 4 steps there are various methods that can be used. So we use the suitable methods for a particular ore. So we will start from the first step, that is concentration or dressing of ore. The first step is concentration of ore or dressing of ore. In this step, the impurities or the gangue particles are removed with the help of various processes. For example, the first method that can be used is hydraulic washing or levitation. This process is used when the impurities or the gangue particles are lighter as compared to the ore. So what happens? The impure ore is kept in a slope like this, and water is sprayed on the impure ore. So the dust particle, because the particles of impurity or the gangue particles are lighter than those of particles of ore, so they flow with the water, while the denser particles of ore will groups. So this is how we can separate the impurities from the ore. So this is the first method, that is very easy. The condition that is required for this method is the particles of ore should be heavier as compared to the gangue particles. Now let's see the second method, that is magnetic separation. Now when is this process used? The ore or the gangue is magnetic. So one of the ore and gangue should be magnetic while other should be non-magnetic. So what is done in this process? We pass the pulverized ore. Now the meaning of pulverization, there is one word which is used most of the times, that is pulverization. So what is the meaning of pulverization? It is the process in which the ore is converted into the powdered form. So this process is called pulverization. So the powdered ore is called pulverized ore. So pulverized ore is passed on a conveyor belt. So this is a conveyor belt, and when the pulverized ore is passed on this conveyor belt, the ore is passed over a magnetic wheel. So there is a magnetic wheel and this one is a non-magnetic wheel. So when the ore is passed, the impure ore is passed magnetic wheel, you know that the non-magnetic particles will be separated from the magnetic particles, because will just fall down from this position, while the magnetic particles will stick on the conveyor belt. So the magnetic particles can be separated from the non-magnetic particles. So in this method, either ore should be magnetic and the gangue particles should be non-magnetic, or ore should be non-magnetic and gangue particles should be magnetic. Only then this process can be used. Otherwise, if both are magnetic, they cannot be separated, and if both are non-magnetic, they cannot be separated either. The next is fourth flotation method. Now this is the process which is used generally for sulfide ores, and this is because of one property of sulfide ores, that is the sulfide ores get wet with oil but not with water. So what happens in this process? In this process, pulverized ore along with water and oil, pine oil is used in this process, is passed in the vessel, and compressed air is passed in this vessel. Now here the ore is shaken well, the pulverized ore along with water and pine oil, and what happens, because the ore gets wet with oil, so it makes a froth on the top. So here a froth will be formed. A froth of ore will be formed on the top, while the impurities or the gangue particles get wet with water, so they will deposit it at the bottom. So at the bottom you will get the particles of gangue. So gangue particles will be deposited at the bottom, while the froth of ore will come at top because it is wetted with oil. So this is the process which is generally used for sulfide ores. So These are three methods of concentration of ore. There is one method, that is chemical process. So in this method, the ore is combined, or the ore is added to a suitable solvent in which it can dissolve easily, while the gangue particles do not dissolve in that particular solvent. So we will discuss the chemical process later in details. Now after the concentration of ore, we get the pure ore. Come to the second step, that is conversion of concentrated ore to metal oxide. Methods of converting the concentrated ore into metal oxide. The first method that can be used is calcination. So calcination is the process of heating of concentrated ore in the absence of air or very limited supply of air to get the metal oxide. So you can see the example, calcium carbonate. So it will give calcium oxide Ca plus CO2, then Fe2O3.2H2. It gives Fe2O3 and water gets separated. Similarly, magnesium carbonate will give CO2. So you can see in this method we can get metal oxides. Now this method is generally used for carbonate ores or the ores which consist of water of crystallization. So you can see the volatile impurities can be removed with the help of this method, that is calcination. One more method, that is roasting. So roasting is the process of heating of ore in the presence of air. So you can see the example, FeS, it will give FeO plus SO2 on heating with air. Similarly, Cu2S plus 3O2 will give Cu2O plus SO2. So from here we can also get metal oxides. So what is the roasting? Roasting is the process of heating of ore in the presence of air, while the calcination is the process of heating ore in the absence of air or very limited supply of air. Now with the help of calcination, we can remove the volatile impurities like carbon dioxide, water vapor, etc., while roasting is generally used for sulfide ores. You can see the example, this is a sulfide ore, this is a sulfide ore. So roasting can be used for sulfide ores. Now after the second step, we get the metal oxide, and we will move to the third step, that is the conversion of metal oxides to metal. The third step is reduction of metal oxide to metal. So once we get the metal oxide, it is reduced to metal with various processes. So the method which is feasible or which is convenient can be used. So one of the method is by thermal decomposition. So what is thermal decomposition? On heating some metal oxides, they get decomposed to get oxygen and the metal. So few metals like silver and mercury get decomposed on heating. So we can get these metal by thermal decomposition because oxygen is separated on thermal decomposition. So you can see HgO will give 2Hg plus O2. So mercury can be obtained or silver can be obtained easily by thermal decomposition. The next method is by using a suitable reducing agent. So you can see that not all the metals can be reduced by thermal decomposition. So for the reduction of some metal oxides, we can use some reducing agents. So generally carbon or carbon monoxide are used for reduction. They are very good reducing agents. So what happens on reduction? You can see Fe2O3. This is the oxide of iron. So we can get Fe and CO, 3CO. Similarly, on reduction of zinc oxide with carbon, we get zinc and carbon monoxide, or reduction of CuO with carbon monoxide. We can also use carbon monoxide. We will get copper and carbon dioxide. So this is the second method by which metal oxide can be reduced to get metal. Now we have one more method, that is electrolytic reduction. You know that during the electrolysis, what happens? During the electrolysis, the metal is obtained at cathode while the other substance, that is non-metal. If oxygen is the non-metal, we will get oxygen at anode. So for example, if NaCl is used, So in NaCl at cathode we will get Na by, because NaCl will give Na plus and Cl minus ion, so we get Na plus, which will move towards cathode and it will get converted to sodium atom. Similarly, at anode, chloride ion will form chlorine atom. Two chlorine atoms will combine to form chlorine gas. So you can get sodium deposited at cathode. Similarly, to be reduced, get aluminium by electrolytic reduction. So we will discuss this later. Now after we get the metal, there is last step, that is refining of metal, in which the metal is purified. So there are various methods. We will discuss some of these methods of refining of metals. One is distillation. So in the method of distillation, generally the metals which have very low boiling point can be purified. So what happens in this method? In this method, the impurity is separated by heating the impure metal. So on heating the impure metal above the boiling point, the metal gets vaporized and it can be condensed somewhere else, while the impurities, because impurities have very high boiling point as compared to the pure metal, so the impurity will remain in the same container, while the pure metal will be obtained somewhere else and it is cooled and condensed. Then the second method is liquation. So liquation is used for the metals having low melting points. So generally when the metals are heated, it starts melting. So the liquefied metal can be separated easily from the slag or the impurity, because the gangue particles will remain solid while the metal will start getting liquefied. So liquefied metal can be separated from the gangue particles. The next method, which we have already discussed, that is electrorefining. So what happens in electrorefining? In electrorefining, the impure metal is kept at anode. So impure metal, this is impure metal. So impure metal is kept at anode, while pure metal or a strip of pure metal is kept at cathode. So the impure metal is kept at anode, a strip of pure metals, this is the strip of pure metal, is kept at cathode. So the whole system is kept in the electrolytic solution. So suppose this is your electrolytic solution. So what happens in this process? The metal ions will migrate towards the cathode and they will get deposited on the cathode, while the impurities or the gangue particles will deposit at the bottom, and this impurity is known as anode mud. We have already discussed this process in the previous lecture or in the previous chapter, that is electrolysis. So this was one of the application of the electrolysis, refining of metal. So in this process we can easily get pure metal at cathode. So this is cathode, this is anode. So this is all in this lecture. If you have any queries, you can ask your questions in the comment box. Thank you very much.